IVM.
Welcome to another week on IVM Podcast. If you're not following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. This week on Cyrus Says, Cyrus talks to restaurateurs Pankaj Shah, Abhishek Hunawar, and Sumit Gambhir of Neighborhood Hospitality. They talk about their past and they talk about their future. They talk a lot more about their future in a new show that we got launching called The Kulaba Cartel. Please make sure that you check that out as well. In a 2-episode special on the Pragati Podcast, Pavin and Hamsini are joined by author and legal expert Rahul Mathan to discuss the Sri Krishna Report and India's tryst with the concept of privacy. On Shunyavaan this week, we have Vishal Gondal from the Vishal Gondal Show. He takes us through his journey on Goki. And just a quick shout out to all of our listeners. Along with the Kulaba Cartel, we have a whole host of other shows launching this month. So stay tuned to the IVM Podcast app and make sure that you follow all of our new shows as well.
All right, please note that the language and ideas presented on the show might not be suitable for everyone. If you're under 18, make sure your mom isn't around. If you're over 80, why is your mom around?
You're listening to Cyrus Says.
This week on Cock and Bull, Surbhi, Amit, Abbas and me. The answer to ABBA, but without the lyrics.
Why follow your auntie's advice when you can follow Cyrus Says on Facebook and Twitter to stay updated about the latest shows?
I'm hugely depressed here on Cyrus Says, not because I have to listen to my own show, that would make sense. I'm depressed because on my birthday, which is when we're recording this, I have gone through hell. From early morning, people come up to me and say, happy birthday, and say, where's my treat? Now, I don't get the correlation and connection in this stupid conversation. I'm not happy it's my birthday. If you're happy it's my birthday, then you give me the bloody treat. Why should I give you the bloody treat? What's this correlation that's going on, this exploitation of birthday people? It's like racism, but for people who are having birthdays. Leave us the hell alone. We're a minority no one speaks of. They don't speak of us in public because of the pain and anguish. Most people hate their birthdays, and as they age, they don't want to mention it or talk about it. But yet other people point out their faults and say, birthday, aging old person, treat. So I have to pay for it? A fine on top of all that? Screw you! It's called Cyrus Says.
And that's what Cyrus Says.
All right, rocking on here on this wonderful session of Cyrus Says, which we changed to Cock and Bull. We'll do that in an audio swipe. I'll do that again for everybody. There you go. Did you see that? Magic! Technology, I tell you. And we're joined by 3 veterans. Please introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Surbhi.
Surbhi, I'm told you won the... that show
Queens of Comedy.
Queens of Comedy, which is not a show on homosexuality. Let's be very clear.
No, I was the top 3. Like I was the top one of the top 3
You can't be all 3.
finalists.
That's like the person who talks in third person. No, Imran will change the country. You don't talk like that. There's a newscaster who does that all the time. I don't know why. So you came third.
Yeah.
That's not so good.
Oh my god! All right. Okay.
No, it's not. How many were there?
30.
Out of 30, you came in the top 10%. That's
Okay, so
pretty
yeah.
good. That's pretty good. Not bad. Did you deserve it? Were you the best, actually?
Yeah, I was actually kind of the best. Should have won it.
Who actually won it? What's the girl's name?
Nivedita Prakasam.
Really?
Yeah.
And is she doing well?
She's doing well. She's really good.
She's gone back to sales? What?
No, she's doing comedy. Everyone is pretty much doing comedy.
Really? You're telling me? I'm in the country. I can see it. Everywhere you go, bloody comedy, man. People hugging each other in parliament. All kinds of stuff that's going on. Yeah. What's up? Abbas and Amit, you don't introduce yourself?
yeah, sorry.
Abbas is a working comic.
Yeah.
And he's got cynicism written on his face. And he hears young girls romanticize this comedy world. It's just pain and more pain. And in America, you're allowed to do drugs with comedy. Here, you're not. So it's tough.
Okay.
Mr. Doshi.
Yes, I am not a comic.
Thank God for that. When is your birthday?
January 21st.
Okay, I'll never mention it again.
Okay.
Abbas, what's your birthday?
March 27th.
March 27th. Okay. So be yours.
My birthday is on August 20th.
Oh, you're one of us.
coming up.
Yeah.
Just about a Leo. I think the same as
I
Bill
am
Clinton.
Leo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're towards the end.
Hey, come on
We've
now.
got astrological signs also have their own isms.
Yeah, no, and also
We look down on each other.
Things have shifted, no?
Yeah.
We've spoken about that.
Oh, you've spoken about that. You want to shift everything.
But I love the
Turn the
making
world
fun
on
of
its head.
astrology.
Absolutely.
Why?
Because it's all shifted now, right? I mean, like the astrological signs where they were when they were first decided is no longer where they are anymore because over time now, like if you are an Aquarian, you should be a Capricorn. I'm supposedly a Capricorn now. Actually, the dates that I am supposed to be an Aquarian, but I'm actually a Capricorn. So I just love having fun at the expense of astrology.
I'm actually a loafer. It's not even like a sign. Just didn't make the signs. What low self-esteem. All right.
Yeah.
Who's starting?
I don't know. Abbas, what do we got?
Hosting.
Yes. You're hosting.
as
Wait,
in-
we'll give you music. We'll do a swipe again.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
So our first piece of news is ABP News. Two of the editors quit recently. That those were Milind Khandekar and Punya Prasoon Bajpayee. And apparently they were fired because under pressure from the government because they are critical of...
This is after that big sting.
Which sting?
It was
the old sting.
The
Were they
woman
involved?
who. So there was somebody basically who came and did a press conference with the BJP saying that her farm income had doubled. Then when she was on ABP, she said that no, I was coached into it. Then she went back and she went on a government conference. Again, she said yes, my income has doubled. And then she came back and again she said that it was coached. So there's like some kind of weirdness going on with that.
Sexism, and then they have that whole idiom which says you can't trust a woman. What the hell? Where does this come from?
Completely unrelated.
Unnecessary is the
yes, it is.
perfect word for that. Yeah.
No, I mean, like, there's no real way to know what's behind all this, right? I mean, like, they are.
So what are you saying? You're saying their arm was twisted to remove these two guys who are trying to make the government look bad by promoting her honest speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was, I mean, most of the news pieces that ABP does are pro-government. So the few that they do, if they're going to get fired for that, the conversation has become, is this like a trailer for what's coming next year?
Owned by the Sarkar group, right? If I remember correctly. Which is not supposed to be pro anything, as far as you know. As some of the other media outlets are. By the way, just let's go on record and say we are pro...
we are pro everybody.
Everyone.
There's nobody who we don't love.
Whoever you are, if you're offended, we're pro you.
Yes.
Okay, so immediately we apologize.
Exactly. Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, that's where I stand.
Our show should be called Sorry, and then, so we can get on with it. Yeah.
It's called Cyrus. So
which is sorry, it's sorry in Egyptian or something.
It's a very interesting AMA question we've got regarding the word sorry. We'll come to that during the AMA.
In the next 3 minutes, because we're out of news. Okay, just very quickly. So here's the fear, and I want to make this very clear here, because America is opening up now and we're able to understand that no democracy in the world is safe actually in that sense. There's always pressure. Checks and balances of a dubious kind,
right,
where, governmental pressure or pressure from corporates or pressure from lobbies of any kind can actually bring you down. So let's face it, whoever you are, wherever you are, there is no such thing. I think this whole concept of fairness and just thinking and, being very just about anything and promoting so-called truth, it doesn't exist.
No, so I mean, like, biases exist, right? So I mean, like, I think it's better if biases are acknowledged and that you can evaluate the bias in the context of what you're listening to and then kind of make your own judgments based on that. So I think that is definitely there in terms of whether or not.
So here's the point. Do they set out with an agenda? The question you have to ask everybody is, as a media person or as a comedian, do you set out as an agenda? I'm anti-Trump, make jokes. I'm anti-BJP, make jokes. I'm pro-Congress, make less jokes.
I don't think
or make jokes because that's working too.
Why are you making jokes on the news at all?
I don't even think that it has to be that direct a kind of thing, right? I mean, like,
but that's what the word prejudice comes from, So you've already got this thought process that, I will go this way.
Right.
For example, you hate superstitions.
I do.
So if you bring up anything, you've got a prejudice towards superstitions. You just not accept that a black cat can change your life.
I have prejudice towards all non-scientific stuff. I have prejudice towards homeopathy, which is the one that I get into the most fights about.
Your homoeroticism has to end at some point. Enough is enough. Take a pill. Sorry, you were saying.
No, but I think the question that you were asking, right, is there real freedom of the speech, right?
Exactly.
That's an interesting kind of question, right? Because, I mean, like, if you think about it, the way India is ranked in this Human Development Index or freedom of speech is actually really low. But we all behave as if we have perfect freedom of speech at the same time, or freedom of press at least, not freedom of speech, freedom of press. We all behave as if we have it. And so I don't know. I mean, like, I think...
I find American press to be polarized a little bit, Again, no fan of Donald Trump, but I'm thinking you start immediately just attacking him. It's almost like you've got that, the ball is there to kick in that direction. But if you look at Sacha Baron Cohen's whole new show, which you guys must be watching now because you're new and young, so you have access to electric things and gadgets and shiny stuff. So you must be looking at it and
Who America?
Called
YouTube.
Who America?
Is it YouTube? I thought I didn't think the show was
on
YouTube.
Showtime, but they put clips on YouTube.
Okay. Yeah, the point is that he's gone and attacked these Republicans. He set them up.
He's tried to attack Democrats as well. He did a Bernie Sanders bit.
Okay.
With another Democrat who saw through the bullshit and walked out.
I've taken the wrong platform. Let's not get into Democrats versus Republicans. I'm saying that he's trying to push an agenda. That there are lots of right-winger nutcases there. Rightly or wrongly, but he's trying to do that very clearly because then he's setting them up. For example, you're told that he's a veteran in a wheelchair. I think for the Sarah Palin interview.
He also plays another character who is a right-wing nut, and that's the character that goes to the Democrats, right?
That's it's a lampoon, Abbas. Come on.
It is a lampoon.
So my only point is that he's got the agenda. The whole show is agenda-based. Everybody has
I agree
agenda.
with that completely.
That's because we both know it's correct to have that agenda.
No,
Because
but
when you talk about rifles in the hands of 4-year-olds, I mean, it's a ridiculous
It
comment.
is an insane. No, but I think it's a tough one to kind of also parse, right? I mean, like you have an agenda. Yeah, sure, you have an agenda. Sure, you have prejudice.
Should the end justify the means? The Machiavellian sort of point.
But I don't think. See, the thing is that you're making it sound the way you're presenting it or the way you're discussing it. It's as if that these are conscious decisions. That okay, I'm out to screw Trump. I'm out to do this. But I think what happens more is that
he's fooled Sarah Palin into thinking it's a real interview.
Oh, sorry, Sacha Baron Cohen is a little different. That's because that's in a whole kind of different kind of space.
Coming back to the Trump issue, my worry is that CNN and the left-leaning sort of journals or media houses, they very clearly set the guy up. It's like a monologue on him for 5 minutes every time, and which is.
But I mean, like he's the president of that country. What are they supposed to do? Not react to stuff he says?
Yeah, so I'm not giving a judgment call. My judgment call sounds like this. So
I mean, like this weekend, right? I mean, like he went off on LeBron James of all things,
and his wife said no. She's the greatest
he's a very smart guy.
LeBron James. She doesn't know he's a basketballer. He's a great humanitarian who likes to give clothes to people, his own sometimes.
But I mean, like and the thing is that he went off on two guys particularly. He went off on Don Lemon from CNN and LeBron James.
Called him the worst and most boring man.
So he said that basically Don Lemon. He called him.
Don Lemon is more stupid than him.
It's stupider than
and LeBron is really stupid. So that's
tough
something.
To be. And I mean, like seriously, anybody.
And Donald Trump is calling. Well, okay, leave it.
So I mean, like one is straight up racist, right? I mean, like it's dog whistling to his base because calling two of the most accomplished black men that are there in the U.S.
and arguably the most popular, the second one
exactly.
at least.
I mean, like if you ever anybody who calls LeBron James dumb is like just an idiot because so he did this press
playing
conference.
to the stereotype of the black athlete and that's all he's got is sheer talent.
He
and blah,
did
blah, blah,
a
blah.
press conference a while ago, right, where somebody asked him a stupid question, right? What did you think of like the first half of the game? You know, the cliche kind of question that they're expecting a. He's like, and then what he did was, over the next 4 minutes, he literally described every single play that occurred in the first half of that game.
In a sarcastic...
Wow.
No, he just went off on it. Like, okay, this was this, and when this guy cut this way, I cut this way, and I did this. When this happened over there, I took this, I took
and
this.
And this is without narcotic substances.
Yeah,
that's what he could have done.
I mean, like,
a lot.
anybody who calls this guy dumb is just, like, he's basically dog-whistling racism.
That's true.
Hey, you guys, don't make any NBA comments to this guy.
I know, Amit is personally attacked.
That's his religion.
Yeah, he's like, why?
See, in India, it's all about religion, but outside it's beyond religion. So
Nothing
this is their
against
religion.
LeBron James. Nothing
Yeah,
against
never. King James apparently used to be called King James.
King James.
Which means Elizabeth was his mother. Right? Am I right?
I don't remember his mom's name.
Right. How can Elizabeth be the mother when she didn't marry? What the hell's wrong with you guys? You know a sense of history. Yeah. All right, where were we?
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So free and fair.
I thought you were talking about the current Queen Elizabeth.
The current queen is somebody else.
It's Elizabeth.
He wears tight pants and has dance classes.
Okay.
Yep. Let's see what we have next. Okay. By the way, WWE star Kane is now the mayor of Tennessee.
He won.
Yeah.
Wow. It's fine.
We have a lot of...
Are we laughing at him? They've got a president called Donald Trump who's giving him an upset. Leave the poor wrestler alone, yeah?
Who
that
also
makes
is in the
sense.
WWE Hall of Fame, by the way.
Also,
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember
Donald
seeing
Trump.
that.
By the way, guys,
episode.
Italy already had a stand-up comedian who won about a couple of years back, and almost it became like a lampoon, which became real. And now we're realizing that lampoon and parody is real. Satire, the line between satire and reality is the same now.
But Cyrus, we're talking about Kane here. Kane who literally buried his brother alive in the ring.
So
we can't let this happen.
Firstly, in Desi terms, he's Kane, Maharashtrian. As North Indians call Maharashtrians, Maharashtrian. And no, but for me, I'm thinking, why look at the body of work of the guy who's a politician today? If you look at the body of work of some of the politicians around the world who have killed, murdered, raped, arson, and crimes parallel to that, the guy's a wrestler, probably not very well educated, spends lots of time eating protein shakes. I mean, his crimes are minimal. And yes, he boiled his brother alive or whatever.
He buried his brother.
Buried his brother alive.
He was the Undertaker's brother, right?
Yeah. Correct.
Turns out, but he does have a degree in
political science. He's actually a well-educated person who has
Which just changes.
Wait, you mean that he wasn't actually Kane? You mean the WWE?
Yeah, the real Kane.
Really?
He's the
It's
mayor
not
of Tennessee.
real?
He has a face.
May I use the term not his Christian name? Yeah, I'm all for it. Why not? And if you want to represent the people, for the people, of the people, by the people, represent the people. There are all kinds of cooks out there, represent everybody.
What was funny was at his victory rally, at his victory speech when he came, they played Kane's entry music when he
That's
came
amazing.
out.
But let's face it, he must have got a lot of votes because of that charisma of being a wrestler.
So.
Yeah.
You can't divorce one from the other. Which means you guys
should
think...
see a picture of a journalist interviewing him because he's so huge.
6'10" or whatever, yeah.
The journalists are like, oh, the mic doesn't reach his face.
I actually saw him live when they came to Bombay.
He's the second
One second,
wrestler,
one second, let's hear this.
Came to Bombay?
Abbas
in
actually,
2002, when WWE came to Bombay, I actually saw the Kane was at his height,
the popularity
height.
Nice pun.
God.
Well done. And feel secure that Shakespeare is the greatest punner of all time. So you don't have to worry. When they say pun is the lowest form, people say, no, Shakespeare, 80% of puns.
I remember they couldn't play the pyro because Kane's whole thing was he controlled pyro like his brother controls
The security issue.
lightning. No, the fireworks were stuck at the
No, is it
customs.
infrastructure issue?
Oh my God.
Now we got a joke on the show. So there goes this glorious entry and everything that comes to a third world country and was wo customs mein phas gaya. Bijli chahiye, bijli.
Yeah, so they had to do this really shady entrance where the wrestlers just moved a curtain and entered rather than have their
And two guys with torches were going like this, like the Olympics in the 1970s, you know? Yeah. Wow, pyro. Is that why he turned politician? I can't take this anymore. Yeah.
Wait, now I just really want to know, were Kane and Undertaker actually brothers?
No, they're not.
Oh my
They're
God.
just 6'10" guys.
So one second,
no.
in real life they're not brothers?
They're not brothers.
I've lived this narrative for my entire life.
Frankly
that they're
speaking, if you
real
look at us
brothers.
Indians, the Mahabharata and the Ramayana, we are very clear about who the brothers are. The bloody American, they've got to get their epics correct.
Yeah.
Because their epics are all over the place. What the hell? Undertaker is not Kane's brother. Breaking news.
I did not know that either.
You get it only on ABP. Oh, sorry, here. Wow.
Cool.
I don't think we should be laughing at any politician from another country. That's
No,
all
I
I'm
don't
saying.
think so. And again, I think one of the things to consider is that people do this a lot, right? I mean, politicians are generally people with lives before they become politicians. It's very rare that you become a politician at the age of 22.
I give you two
and that's
words.
what you do for them.
Biplab Deb,
Okay.
Tripura CM.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? He's
He
the one
didn't
who's
have a life before
No,
he
he's
was a-
discovered all kinds of scientific facts. Which,
That's
Oh,
true.
you know,
that guy.
That is true.
yeah,
That
he's
guy.
fantastic. So I mean, there are all kinds out
No, but
there.
I mean, like, look at Derek O'Brien, right? I mean, like, Quizmaster for the longest time now, fairly this popular.
Now he doesn't ask the questions; he has to answer them.
That is
Poor
true.
chap, yeah.
But I mean, like, you'll find a lot of people who are accomplished in other areas of their life before they get into politics, and I don't think that is really necessarily a bad thing.
Lata Mangeshkar
Is that a politician or
What
is that?
party is she in?
has been nominated 12 times.
Really?
For
Didn't pick up the
right.
phone.
All right, we'll move on. So
Well, let's quickly go around the room and think of who we would like to be in politics. Since you're opening the field to wrestlers and things like that.
in India or in the US?
I'll leave it open
Yeah.
because
I
the
think
fear
Akshay
factor.
Kumar will definitely get into politics.
Oh,
one day.
ABVP, super
And
like
build toilets
that.
all over India.
Yeah, that hopefully yes.
Well, I like Akshay Kumar because he works on time. He likes to start early morning and he
Right.
likes to stop at
Do you
5.
think Elon Musk is
I think he's going berserk.
good God.
Yeah.
I think Elon
Berserk.
Musk is now, he's reached that point where it's just getting to you.
Yeah.
The fame or the power or maybe the fact that
he's
you
become a parody of himself.
Yes.
Like, you
That's
read
true.
some of
and you
the
can't
stuff
put your
that
foot in
he's
your
doing.
mouth every 3 days. Now, the last 1 month the record has not been good.
I mean, like, seriously, how do you go about calling somebody who is saving all of these kids in Thailand
Yeah.
a pedophile? I mean, like, and with no basis whatsoever. You just go out and say
and
that.
at a
What the
time
hell?
when the whole world is looking at this as a good humanitarian moment for all of us,
Yeah.
beyond race, religion, etc., just to see young kids being saved by people from all over the world and actually giving their lives, 1 or 2 of them having unfortunately passed
It's
away.
just absolutely insane.
And
man.
then his apology was also a little half-baked, if you ask
Yeah.
me.
He is.
It wasn't a real apology.
It's strange.
I mean, like,
So Musk-
people start buying into their own mythology. man.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's just
and
it,
we
right?
are the kings of that, right?
Yes, we
because
are.
psychophancy is our main subject. You can do it. Psychology, sociology, and then psychophancy. Malik kaun hai? Malik idhar hai. All power pado.
When are you signing for the election?
I can't get a bodyguard. In India, you're nobody without a bodyguard. I've noticed that, yeah.
Shravan?
He won't do it. He doesn't like the sun and all that. Yeah, working hours. Come on, you need a guy with a hand like an elephant pushing you out of the way, and then you have to ask "Kaun hai?" This is a typical Indian moment, and you say "Ye hai," oh, pata nahi. That's what happens every time. God,
Okay.
man, when will this fame happen, Surbhi?
And, I mean, I'm thinking about who I'd like to get into politics in India right now, and I'm just thinking, everybody who got in who I thought would be great has been a disappointment, right?
Yeah.
Nandan Nilekani has been such a disappointment with the Aadhaar
They
stuff,
become
right?
powerless very quickly.
Yeah, but I mean, like, also, I mean, like, he's powerless and is now doing propaganda essentially around this stuff. And I had high hopes. I mean, like, this is a guy, technocrat, knows what he's talking about, understands process, all that kind of stuff.
I had one of the greatest actresses India's ever produced, Smriti Irani, and then to marry to a Parsi. What about that? Have you seen any of her great episodes of Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi, which was for us bigger than Kane? And
Of course.
I mean, it was the wrestlers of
The
our
same.
generation.
Right. And
Yeah.
Smriti Irani got into politics.
Yes, and wrestling. But that part has not been given enough footage. Yeah, so just taking off from him, a lot of them disappointed. I hope Rahul Gandhi gets into politics one day.
I think that would be a,
Maybe one
that'd be
day.
a good
Yeah.
idea.
That'd be good.
One
That'd be
day,
good.
I think it'd be good.
Politics. Let me try that one.
He definitely has like a little bit of a spark there. So
I think because of people like Surbhi, they're all looking towards the internet and think comedy is the way to go. So everybody's trying to be funny now. It's just too much. Shashi Tharoor the other day. Yeah, of course, his funny takes us hours to understand because the English is so hyphenating. So, okay, now translated from the original funny by... So come on, guys, quickly before we go to break. Who do you want? Who do you want to see?
I said Akshay Kumar.
Akshay Kumar in India. A world? Anybody in the world?
In the world.
Yeah, like...
Trevor Noah. I want to see him get it.
Yeah, but he got into trouble in Australia for making some racist comment.
Yeah,
apparently.
I wouldn't mind Mark Cuban becoming president or fighting because
but is he the real deal?
Well, so he's gonna. It looks like he might contest against Trump.
Is it because he owns the Dallas Cowboys?
Well, no, I don't give a shit about that so much. I mean, like, but
what is sportism racism?
No, he owns the Dallas Mavericks, not the Cowboys. If he owned the Cowboys, I would hate him with a passion that's white hot.
All right.
That would be racist.
Yeah.
Just so record, Mavericks are a football team or
no, Mavericks are a basketball team.
So that's okay then.
Yeah. The Dallas Cowboys are a football team who are the arch rivals of the Philadelphia Eagles teams, which is the team that I follow. So that's why I would hate the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones, I do hate him.
So now we know why Amit doesn't have a date in India. Because he can't have a conversation.
That is true.
There's no girl who will understand anything he's saying. Oh, man.
You make a good point.
Oh, man. By the way,
you make a good point.
Putting it out there.
Yes. But Mark Cuban, I mean, like, competence. See, I mean, like, what I look for in politics is competence, right?
But he seems a little heartless from time to time on that show.
But sometimes you need to be heartless.
Under the business acumen, there's no feeling for the person.
But sometimes you need to be a little heartless. Sometimes you need to be able to make a tough choice.
I don't know. I don't see a reason to be rude.
If you don't make tough choices, then we're stuck in the situations we're stuck in right now, right? We still have Air India eating up 20,000 crores a year. I mean, like, Like,
I watch Hitler's speeches and I'm thinking, why are you so angry? Why can't you just be racist but not angry? Why can't you be like, instead of like, I will kill all of you people, why can't you say, I will kill all of you people? You just be polite. That's all I'm saying is tone. Tone for me is, look at animals. When you talk to your doggy, for example, you can say, doggy, it won't make any difference. But if you say doggy,
I have to nice tone. All of that.
The tone is everything. By the way, that's how me and my wife talk to each other. She thinks I'm the doggy. Okay. No sexual entendre.
Okay, all right. Moving on.
Please keep distance from Mike. We have to take a break. Abbas is going on about this break business for some reason. As if 4,000 sponsors are throwing money in the middle. We don't deserve a break. We should take the break when we get the break.
That's true.
That's true.
No, but let's do a break.
We'll do a break. There's all this basketball over our head.
Why don't we talk about mental illness? For that matter, we don't even talk about emotional wellness. And if we can't talk about either of these basic, very basic aspects of being human, what do we do when we just feel like something's not right?
Hi, I'm Zain.
And I'm Avanti.
And this is Marbles Lost and Found, a show where we invite conversations about mental health and illness and just get people to talk about it, because it's okay to do so. Catch Marbles Lost and Found every Tuesday on the IVM app, website, or anywhere you get your podcasts from.
BAB, back after break. In India, we don't have to use direct and indirect articles. All these should be just removed. Why do we use them?
I guess it's true.
See, we are ahead of the West because we said no to all this. Then they started doing all this texting. And next thing you know, nobody uses them anyway. So in a sense, we've taught the West English. We have. We've taught them how to go short. Not a genetic component.
No, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Because you're the tall guy in the room. Okay, let's go back to our anchors.
Yep.
So the next like a rock band from the 40s, Abbas and Surbhi with Carnatic vocals.
Yeah, we're a cult classic.
Yeah, you have to learn to love you.
Chief Election Commissioner OP Rawat has warned that Russia might try to interfere in the 2019 elections of India.
It being a pattern.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why is Russia trying to, like, why, is this going to be a trend that they're going to...
Yeah, of course it is. And I mean, like any country.
So what's the eventual plan?
You want to find governments which are friendly towards your own policies.
So what are we are the fifth most powerful economy in the world, or fifth or sixth? One of the two.
Something like that, yeah.
How can you ignore India? Yeah. You cannot ignore India. So if you look at the 5-6 big players in the world, if you look at China, India, Russia, USA, and 3-4 Western countries, namely Germany, France, England. Canada to some extent. Japan, maybe. If you look at these...
Mexico's a big economy.
Mexico. And Brazil for that matter.
Brazil's a big economy.
So you put about 10 of these countries together and you say, okay, these guys cannot interplay without each other. Right? And it's like in a game of chess. If you can control more than your territory in the top 10 of the big boys, then I think you go go, you control the world in a sense.
I agree. I mean, honestly, at this point in time, given the way the world is, this is what spycraft has evolved into, right? I mean, like, if you want to...
I think, but the whole change has happened in terms of geopolitics, in the sense that India and China are now the two boys you want to really court. Or girls. Surbhi, please correct me.
Yeah?
girls.
So China and India, you can't ignore. And I would think if China and India could form an alliance, and I have got a name ready for it, called China. That's my alliance. Because apparently China is good with that. They've accepted it. I think you're unstoppable force. So, but then again, is Russia really... That's all Russia does? I mean, really? World Cup, spy. World Cup, spy. I mean, come on, it's going to be more to Russia than that.
But I mean, if you want to kind of expand the power that you have without going to war, this is pretty much the best way to do it, right? It's the most efficient way if you think about it. What does it cost you? 20 hackers sitting in a room. Besides that, you need like maybe another 25, 50 people to make social media content for you, and then you're good to go.
Yeah, but from a very simplistic point of view, forget war. War is a metaphor for economic power. So economic power is controlled by trade and commerce. Trade and commerce is controlled by what decisions you make vis-a-vis X, Y, and Z. So if X, Y, and Z come under your purview and control, then everything's great.
Exactly.
And so forget war. You won.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, they clearly won in the US, right?
In between World Cup.
They clearly won in the US, right? I mean, like, they clearly won. I mean, like, whether or not
they interfered, and then their horse won, so in a sense they won.
Exactly.
By transitive property, we can use it.
We don't know if their interference
actual work made a difference. Because Americans don't understand Russian, so that's the problem.
Right.
Neither do Indians, right?
Oh, no, we do. Я знаю по-русски. I took it for 1 year. Let me tell you my Russian story. I went to St. Xavier's College and arts. There were 8 boys and 81 girls in my class. I couldn't believe my luck. Out of the 8 boys, 2 were gay. Great thing. I've always been very liberal. 2 were drug addicts. Nobody wanted to be next to them. And 1 was a gangster. So, he didn't come to class.
That's you.
No, there were like 3. Do I look like a gangster? I'm from Delhi. I look like one of the pretty boys you can marry. Please understand. So, yeah. So, I mean, everything was great. And then I thought all the girls are taking Russian. So, screw Hindi. I really struggled with Hindi all our lives. I'll do Russian. So, from 43 on 100, in Hindi, I went to Russian and got 3 on 100. Because there were like 25 different letters, big and small, and they're not related to each other. The A and the A don't look at each other at all. So, it's like 50 letters. I was going mad. And, women are just better at language. All the girls were tak, 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 tak. Arti Avatamani, 85, Monisha Gandhi, 92, Cyrus Brocha, 3. And I was like, why? I went back to Hindi. But girls, the 8 boys.
When you're in college, girls drive all language decisions, don't they?
How do they?
I don't know, but I mean, like...
There's something in the genes.
That's why I took French in college, right? I mean, like, that's where the girls...
Is that a metaphor?
No,
okay.
It was, in HR...
When did you take Chinese? Mandarin. You should learn Mandarin.
Yeah, I don't think we had options like that.
No, we will soon. We will soon.
French and we had Sanskrit.
Hey, watch that.
Sanskrit.
Okay. Yeah. Sanskrit, mother language, a lot of Persian in it.
No, I know, but I mean, like, those are my options, right? So.
Yeah. But the way you said it. The condescension.
Sanskrit.
The reverse racism.
Sanskrit.
The anger. The intensity of pain. The anguish.
It's just a language name.
Speak in Sanskrit, but Sanskrit, not Hindi. Say one line.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Wow! You got out of jail. You got out of jail with that one. 1-0 Amit Doshi. Okay, moving on.
By the way, Cyrus, I went to Xavier's on Sunday at Malhar to judge an event.
Wow.
Yeah, and my bio said producer of Cyrus's, and they're still very impressed when you say that you work with Cyrus Brocha.
That's because generation is past. Because they stopped us when I was MTV entering. Let me tell you, Father Masquerina said, no, don't come in. Yeah.
All right, moving on. So Virat Kohli is the first Indian since Sachin Tendulkar to become the #1 Test batsman.
And one day batsman at the same time as well, yeah.
Right, so there's been this criticism because India lost the match against England. A lot of people are saying that Kohli is going the same route as Sachin, which is that once you lose Sachin, the rest of the team follows.
But that's been going on since
repeating
Gavaskar.
Itself.
That's going on since Gavaskar. I mean, but I don't think that's
wasn't that the phase in between the 2011 squad that we had? We had Dhoni, Gambhir, all of these. Yeah. For the first time, we were like, we are a strong team. And not just one.
We had a strong batting lineup throughout 2000 onwards. If you look at it from Azhar onwards, we've always had a strong batting lineup. I don't think that's fair. Even when Sachin was God, you had Rahul, you had Saurav, you had Viru, you had Gambhir. You just mentioned earlier on. You had Sidhu, you had Manjrekar, you had Azhar. So it's not like he was alone.
Same with Virat. We all were very dependent on Sachin, right?
No,
the morale of the team.
But he's a mega player. He's the talisman, and Virat is the talisman now. It's okay, man. This is life. A 31-run defeat. I don't know in basketball how to explain it to Amit, but it was a close match. It was a good game of cricket. I think we're overdoing this, and he batted his guts out. 200 runs in 2 innings, 149 and 51.
And I mean, like,
I think Virat is a supreme ambassador for India. If he can just behave himself a little bit more, I think he's just a wonderful guy. He speaks his heart, and he's just a great bat. You got to give him that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Virat, great bat.
101%.
You think he'll be remembered more fondly than Sachin?
See, this is a question which is very unfair. It's like, how does it's like Rocco Siffredi, the porn star. Is he greater than John Holmes, who's Amit Doshi's era? So, I can't explain. I mean, how do you compare
what era
eras?
are these guys?
Don't ask, brother. But the men still had the same appendages. Everything was the same. But coming back to, sorry, Surbhi. Coming back, I don't know why I'm saying sorry to you because you're vulgar as hell. It's off this show. Coming back to this, I think this is just to create controversy and have conversations and just get under people's skin.
Well, that's the idea behind this, right? I mean, like,
can you compare Larry Bird and LeBron James?
There is a massive conversation going on, Jordan versus LeBron, who's better, right? There's a massive conversation.
But go even earlier. Go to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Go to Magic Johnson.
Will Chamberlain.
How do you compare?
You can't because games are different. The way that people play are different. Conditioning is different. Like, I mean, like LeBron James literally spends $1 million a year on his fitness. Like, literally $1 million a year. He sleeps in an oxygen chamber.
Oh my God.
Right? So
Every night?
With girls.
Oh, God.
But I mean, like, that's you can't compare that to someone like Will Chamberlain, who was smoking before he played a game,
or in the breaks.
Yeah,
in those days, it was what a lovely era.
It was
actually, the hedonism, like Gary Sobers was drunk when he comes to bat or something. It's just amazing.
It's a different time. You can't compare across eras like that.
Abbas is a comedian. Compare him with Sitaram Kesri, who was a very funny guy from the Congress in the 90s.
I remember that guy.
You can't.
No, you can't. I don't think you should.
Yeah, Daddy looks so mild for some reason. A big Congress supporter. All right.
Yes.
So the chapter just died there. So the patient just passed out.
See, the second I say NBA, you know that everything goes.
Yeah.
No, I'm a little, quickly, my last thing on this is I'm a little irritated with people after some time who want to go on getting under your skin about Gavaskar versus Vishwanath or Gavaskar versus Kapil Dev.
But I think Gavaskar versus Kapil Dev is a legitimate argument because they played at the same time.
Yeah, that is fair. But my point is, do we really have to answer that question?
You don't. But I mean, like, some of this stuff is about, like, just having conversation as well, right? So Gavaskar versus Kapil is a fun conversation.
Yeah.
Ganguly versus Dravid is a fun conversation. Because those guys were contemporaries of each other. But then when you start getting into eras and stuff like that, then I think that
But it's also beyond a point non-creating conversation. It's just trying to be gossipy and get under the skin and say, oh, I'm a big Sachin fan, I'm a big Virat fan. And it's all personal.
It's all about the takes.
I think you've got one alpha in any sports team, one leader, one boss man, and that's the way it is. Virat is so easily at the moment.
Right.
I mean, I think we got KL Rahul in the background, who's a decent bat, and a couple of others. Pujara, if they ever put him in the 11.
Sure.
The anti-Gujarati sentiment there.
Okay.
What Amit, say something.
I don't know anything.
Huh?
I don't pretend to know anything about this stuff, man.
What the hell's going on?
Not cricket.
Yeah.
We have some news from not cricket.
Okay.
Apparently, two fishermen brothers, they went fishing once, and recently, this is news from this morning. So they went fishing, and they caught a fish worth rupees 5.5 lakhs, guys. It's a
Where was this?
It's a goldfish.
Had the fish swallowed Mrs. Sharma with her gold medallions and necklaces?
No, the fish is called Ghol. Ghol. Have you guys ever had that fish?
Well, Piyush Goyal is the finance minister.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He won't be worth that much money.
Hey, Abbas, you'll have to practice in some other country. Yeah? Your comedy's good.
You just compared me to a Congress politician, so might as well go the whole.
And you've studied Sitaram Kesri's career and see what all I've put you in under. Including controversies.
I was thinking of Sitaram Yechury when you said Sitaram.
That's communist. That's where your earnings are at the moment. See, that's why I understand what you're thinking. Yeah.
Sitaram Kesri was the almost prime minister many times, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's a Dally boy. Surbhi will be known. Surbhi?
Yeah.
Politics में कुछ interest है या नहीं?
We talk about really important stuff like this important
fish. Like the goldfish?
Yeah, the goldfish.
I'm with you. We have to save the world by discussing this. So how do you know it costs 5.5? Who decides that?
It's apparently a huge fish. It's a 30 kg fish. And
so on weight. If it's 30 kg, the match tells you it's worth this much money.
Yeah.
So I fatten a normal pomfret and just keep fattening it.
I think it's called it's probably the internal organs in this fish is like a really expensive, and they have medicinal properties also.
Wow, that's all bullshit. What medicinal property? Fish oil, which you get in pill form.
It's called the fish with the heart of gold. So.
Which you kill and then take the heart.
I'm amazed that none of you have had this fish. I thought we'll have a discussion about how to prepare this
Firstly,
goldfish.
in Maharashtra we call it feast. So I don't know where you're from. Don't understand what
I've
you're
never
saying.
even heard of this fish.
Goldfish, guys. Come on, Abbas.
Never.
No.
Abbas?
Goldfish, yes. Goldfish.
You
goldfish,
had a
no.
goldfish. You've
I
eaten
had a
it.
goldfish as a pet once.
No, we're talking about eating
And
it.
on one hungry day.
I have never eaten a goldfish, but I've seen somebody eat a live goldfish.
Are you
No
kidding?
way.
Yeah.
The pet goldfish?
Yeah, like just swallowed.
In front of you, like it's
Yeah.
not
What a
like tea
magic. That's
stuff.
what this guy does, David Blaine.
No, this was like frat party.
That's how he makes things disappear?
And he
By swallowing
brings,
them?
he
Oh my
brings
God.
the. So he'll eat it at the start of the show, and then 3 hours later he'll bring it back.
How do I know it's the same goldfish?
You know, it probably isn't.
Yeah.
It's like racism. They all look alike.
That just means he has more than one fish in his body.
What does he get out from?
Well, his mouth.
I should take it out from somewhere else.
Maybe he does. That trick
That's
is,
what I want to watch.
That trick is yet to come.
I do not want to watch that.
What's he got on his plane, that guy? I tell you.
All right, so that's the topics we have.
I think that's more than
So really, I
enough.
want to
Yeah.
talk about the plane thing, man. You had that
The
plane
poop.
topic.
Oh yeah, sure. Let's go there.
I
Let's
thought that
go.
was a funny one because I thought that was so nonsensical and so typical of India.
Aeroplane time.
Yeah.
So, the NGT has said something to the DGCA, these are abbreviations of bodies, that they'll stop paying the salaries if airlines continue dropping poop mid-air.
Are you kidding?
I know, this was news for me as well. I used to think there is a disposal
It's not possible.
system.
That's why this is so hilarious. You
Yeah.
cannot do this.
And the reason...
It's not like you have a lease lever.
First, let's just settle the argument. When you poop in an aeroplane,
Yeah.
it goes straight out.
No, it
goes
doesn't.
into a
It
doesn't
septic-
go straight
It goes
out.
into
Yeah.
a septic tank. That
And
septic
then?
tank is extremely isolated.
And then?
Yeah.
But so what has happened over here is that somebody complained saying that this is happening, and then somebody tested his roof and found fecal
Yeah.
matter on it.
Because
Okay.
every night, apparently, planes used to...
But
No, one
planes,
sec.
planes cannot do this. It's
Yeah.
not possible. You know,
It's a
think about the
military-
illogical.
So you're saying there's somebody, like a god or something, who's crapping on
I don't know what this
Took
is.
you
but-
so long to find out?
but this is such a great, like, typical Indian
Parachuters,
story.
rich
right?
industrialists, actors. Who are using planes and
Someone is
crapping?
definitely given this
What
job
about the guy who didn't pay
disposal.
for the whole who's in London? No, we won't. That's
Okay,
wrong.
yeah.
That's wrong. Let's not- Stop it.
Oh my God, there's another news that says Gurugram, like someone from Gurugram, which is
Gurgaon. Yes, thank you.
The residents used to store poop falling from aircraft in fridge.
I don't understand how this
It's
is
called
possible.
caramel
It's
custard.
simply not possible.
Yeah, that's what. So both these you sound like almost surreal to me. Like this is not happening.
Delhi airport is just off Gurgaon, so I can understand that because I always prefer going to Gurgaon from the airport. It's faster.
Yeah. But this guy thinks it's a rare mineral. Like he's all this time
It
he's
is?
been thinking. It is.
It belongs to
in a
only
way.
one person.
Yeah.
So in
But
that sense, out of billion.
But I mean, like, just think about it, right? If you can actually, if there was a release valve for, to discharge all this and
A lot
collect
should
this, it would be a ton of stuff that would fall. And not just that, it would also be, I mean, like, it would be so dangerous, right? I mean,
Yeah.
like,
Is
that's
that
access
how-
to the
Fall from that
airplane.
Is that how our people got our skin color, Daddy? Stop it! I mean, stop it!
Also, poop falling from that height can hurt someone.
Yeah, I think so.
Does it harden? Under
I-
atmospheric
It's frozen.
pressure.
Yeah,
no,
it
dude,
gets
if it's
frozen,
falling
yeah.
from that height,
Yeah.
it's
For
frozen when it
example,
falls.
when Captain Cantinwala says, I'm 30,000 feet above Jaipur and you can see the pink city from here, if you look out, it could turn to something else in
Yeah.
a
Yes,
matter
it
of
could.
seconds.
Yeah,
That's true.
People felt
Let's not go
adventurous.
there. Let's just stop here.
Let's just move on to the AMA stuff thing.
Surbhi, come on, tell me a young person's joke to keep me awake.
A young person joke. Oh my God.
Or just point to someone in the room and we'll all laugh. That's a good one.
That's how.
AMAs.
Anyways.
EMA time, ladies and gentlemen. Coming live from Brisbane, Australia. EMAs.
Hello there, my name is Naveen Narona, and as a gay person in India, I get asked a lot of stupid questions.
Beta, is it LGBT or eligibility?
How do two men procreate?
Bro, is Grindr better than Tinder or what?
We answer all these questions and much more on my podcast, Keeping It Queer, where I talk to individuals from the LGBT community in India and learn about their personal stories. Catch all the episodes on the IVM podcast app or any other podcasting app you like. Till then, keep it queer.
If you have any questions for Cyrus, write to us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Or you can send an email to whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
1 second. Kripaya down, DJ. We are waiting for the final
Internet is
call.
slow today.
Internet
Okay.
is slow. Wi-Fi has gone home. And now we give you no call dropping with Abbas.
Okay, Apurva Raj Purohit asks, to you. What kind of daughter-in-law are you expecting in your house? What is the one thing you will look for
My
for your
wife
son?
and my good friend, my second wife, Kunal, had a physical fight last night over this whole thing about one of his common friends whose son always wants to go back home, married son and all that, and stay with the mother and father and all that. And my wife said, if these kids of ours get married, they leave. No one is staying here. I cried all night, Amit, Abbas and Surbhi, because I'm so attached to my kids. I understand the whole Indian thing now, you know. I just can't believe they'd leave. But my wife's like, they cannot stay here. So I don't know what's going to happen. Abbas, it's a crisis.
This show just took a very emotional turn.
I told my daughter, just take me with you. No, I don't care who you marry. You can't abandon me. You can't leave me with her alone in the house. It's just so scary. Yeah. So,
but then one day you're going to have to let them go, right?
My wife is a Rishi Valley brought up, and boarding schools. They're different. You know, I'm a Malbahir boy like Amit.
Yeah.
You know, we are kept close to the family and extended family and everybody else. For us, though, there's no such thing as break. We are like Karan Johar films. You know, except that, you know, the one exception to the Karan Johar film.
Cyrus is tearing up a little bit.
You know what I'm
The
saying?
thought of
Yeah.
this.
God, it's terrible.
So you don't even want to think about that scenario?
No, we'll have to let them go. I have no idea because it's really difficult, as all people know, living with joint families and all. But
I mean, are your kids, are they planning to study abroad or anything like that? If that's the case, then you'll get used to it, right? By the time they're...
Well, as long as they can sleep in their own room without dad coming and staying there. Yeah. I mean, you know, but then the Indians have this thing of coming back. You came back.
I came
We're the
back.
only culture that comes back. Actually, a lot of people, once they go, the 80% of all the tribes of the
Most
world,
Indian people don't come back. Very few do.
plenty don't come back. But if you look at examples, I know so many of my friends who've come back from my generation. I'm like, why do you come back? And they're so happy to see us. And I'm like, I don't feel that anymore because, 5-10 years have passed. You went to Seattle, stay in bloody Seattle. Don't tell me it reminds you of Navi Mumbai. That's not my problem.
It's also equally far, so...
Yeah. Who can tell?
But I've never seen the emotional side of you, Cyrus. This is new.
Really? Was it emotional?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
The first few seconds.
Was I crying? It's because my birthday.
All right. Okay. So Arpit has sent a question. So he says, "Hi Cyrus, I'm a big fan."
Oh, by the way, the question was daughter-in-law. We didn't even answer it.
Yeah.
Look at how sexist are we?
Yeah, it's like my daughter.
The answer was all about me being alone. Who's a bloody daughter-in-law? I don't know. I'm once you say you're liberal, if the guy brings home a guy, you got to, whatever it is, you can't say anything.
Of course.
So I think I don't get into that. What do I want for my daughter-in-law? You have a failed marriage, so you want a better marriage for your kid? No way. Nothing. As long as he keeps a German Shepherd, I'm happy.
Amazing. Arpit says, "Hi Cyrus, I'm a big fan of yours for the past 80 years, although I'm only 33, and I love your podcast."
80 years. 80 years. Who's a comedian now?
Apparently Arpit.
Yes.
My question is that I have been listening to your podcast so much lately that your voice is always in my head, giving me weird suggestions on everything in life. What do I do to get your voice out of my head?
Oh
Help
my
me.
God.
I don't know, but if it's a sexual act, change hands. I always feel variety is the spice of life. Don't cheat on your wife, just change hands. Right?
Sure.
Because marriage is all about changing hands.
Okay.
You would be the only one who can answer that question. Okay.
I suddenly realized how profound it sounded.
I know.
There's so much depth to that statement. Yeah.
All right, next one is Shubham Balodi has sent a question. He says, Cyrus, I've observed that after Naveen left the show, you started taking a dig at Abbas and the sound guy. If Abbas is the new Naveen, how about doing a show with Abbas? An episode with Abbas.
You bastard, you're promoting yourself. You create a character, you go online, and you send a message after message.
This is a genuine email.
You Indian, typical Indian.
Did you make a burner account on Twitter for this?
Surbhi doesn't do that. She's a much more classy act.
This is Abbas's burner account from Twitter. Please
done.
do a show for me.
See, I think our standards are so low, one email is enough.
One
we don't
email
need
is
20,
enough.
1,000.
We'll do it.
One person, it's done, Abbas. We do a show with you.
All right, lastly, so on last week's Cock and Bull, remember you and Naveen got into a bit of an argument, and then you were trying to make a point about how sometimes you say things without meaning it, and you mentioned that you bumped into someone and instead of saying sorry, you told him Sora.
This is a real story. Taxi
Someone
driver.
has actually found a place called Sora and sent you a picture of it.
Shillong, is it?
In the northeast. This person
But
is...
the taxi driver was probably from UP or, Jharkhand or something because, his reply was, he just thought it was an abuse. But I did, like I said, I put my hand out. The point of that argument was the universal handout gesture, which, people do while crossing the road also. They sort of half apologize to you, with their hand out. And that's it. That's enough. So I did that and then I said Sora.
So this is sent by Sanchit Khanna, and he also says in Punjabi, Sora means father-in-law. So did you bump into
Sala.
your
In Punjabi, do you speak Punjabi?
Yeah, but
Sora.
Sora
Sala
is
only.
a new term for a father-in-law.
That's what Sanchit says.
In Japanese, that's how it became Sala.
Listen, he's
You don't
our
say the
listener,
R.
he's probably right.
Yeah, he's probably right.
Yeah, he's our
You
listener,
would know
man.
about
We're
this.
contradict
smart
him.
people, so
One word, Sora. Our world is so empty. And one wrong word, Sora, has led into 50 minutes of discussion across states involving cantonments in Shillong, all the way down to Mumbai, Nariman Point, where one taxi driver took offense. The country of Offensistan, where we are.
That is very-
It doesn't take long.
So he signs off the email by saying, I hope you can trace that driver and backpack with him to Sora. I love your podcast. Thank you for making Ludhiana traffic less painful.
Ludhiana, come on,
Come to
guys.
Mumbai, Ludhiana.
Ludhiana
Walk in the
traffic.
park, really.
Yeah, no kidding, man.
Just do
Seriously.
Parel twice in your life. You know, people say, let's go climb Everest. I say do Parel twice. Twice. The second time is when suicide will happen. You'll say, yes, I prefer death to this. Which is what they think about the show, from what I gather. All right, Abbas, you're up next, huh? But the show's over now.
Sure. Cool.
Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps, please. We beg you, we need you. If you have any questions, write to us online, and you can mail us as well. We will answer. We have a doctor in the house called May.
And that's what Cyrus says.
Some time ago, 5 successful restaurateurs came together to form the Kolaba cartel. The founders of the table, Gauri Devi Dayal and Jay Yusuf, partnered with the founders of Woodside Inn, Abhishek Honawar, Pankil Shah, and Sumit Gambhir to open a new restaurant in Kolaba. If you've ever dreamed of opening a restaurant or love eating out, you want to listen in. The Kolaba Cartel. This exclusive 10-part series is hosted by Gauri Devi Dayal and Amit Doshi. Catch new episodes of the Kolaba Cartel every Monday and Thursday on the IVM Podcasts app, website, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Did I just catch you on your way to work? Or did you end up pulling an all-nighter? Let me guess. You have a packed schedule for the day, the week, and probably the month and the year. That's a lot for your mind to handle, don't you think? This buzzing chaos also brings tons of negative thoughts. Am I right? Try spinning that bottle in a positive direction with me, Chetna, on the Positively Unlimited podcast, every Monday on IBM Podcasts. It's time to change your life one alphabet at a time.